Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. On the part of the DMP 12th, I gave you 3 questions yesterday. Let's discuss about the first question. The Uniform Civil Code is paramount to India. The Uniform Civil Code is paramount to India, but it is not easy to implement. Elucidate. Okay, this is the elucidate type of the question. 250 words. You are asked to write down 250 words and 15 marks. This is from a source from the Hindu editorial. Code Red. Okay, the Union Government of India has already issued a notice to elicit the public opinion regarding the Uniform Civil Code. This is the third time. So based on that one, the Hindu editorial, not article, editorial, the editor has written an editorial. So that was the source to frame this question. The Uniform Civil Code is paramount. Paramount is nothing but it's essential or significance, very important significance. The Uniform Civil Code is paramount to India, but it is not easy to implement. Elucidate. Elucidate is nothing but to expose probably what is hidden. So you have to expand this one. In other words, it is elaborate, but it is elaborate is different. So you have to expose what is the things behind this statement. This is the statement based question. The Uniform Civil Code is paramount, which means the Uniform Civil Code is essential for India, the country like India, but it is not easy to implement. You have to elucidate it. Okay, as far as the paramount significance of Uniform Civil Code to India, we have to discuss first of all. Later, you have to discuss how it is not, why it is not easy to implement it. Okay, that's what you have to discuss. There are two parts. First, you have to express what is the essential, what is the necessity of Uniform Civil Code in India. That's what importance. Okay, Uniform Civil Code. According to the Article 44th of the Indian Constitution, the state shall endeavor to provide its citizens for its citizen that a uniform civil code for its territory, for its entire territory. Okay, the state shall endeavor to provide uniform civil code that citizen living in its territory. That's what the words has been used in Article 44th of the Directive Principles of State Policy. The directive principles of state policy are not enforceable, that's why this Article 44th is not enforceable. But however, you have to understand one thing here. In the second part, that is what important, but first let's discuss about the what is the importance of the Uniform Civil Code. I used the word paramount is in supreme interest, supreme significance. Okay, what is the necessity of Uniform Civil Code in India? Okay, India is a diversified country, but there is a unity is there, but there is a huge, tremendous diversified country India, where various religions are there, races are there, castes are there, geographical regions are there. Okay, gender wise there. Okay, gender wise is there, rural, urban, various divisiveness is there. This is what we are simply describing. This is a diversity. It's a huge diversity, continental in size. Of course, it is a subcontinent. In such a nation, if we have a uniform civil code, okay, uniform civil code, it will be helpful to foment, to improve, or to enhance the unity and integrity among its geographical region, among its population of various divisions, various diversity. So it is very important to foster the unity and integrity among the citizens, number one. Number two, to enhance the, to give the impetus to the nationalism. Okay, that is what, for example, regionalism is very high. Sometimes regionalism is taking its ugly head. For example, Manipur we are looking at. So in this context, this, if we have a uniform civil code, it will promote the unity and integrity, which in turn promote the nationalism. It is very important. And another important thing is uniform civil code is essential for the inclusiveness. For example, gender disparities. Okay, so that if you have a uniform civil code, there is no difference between the gender and this one. For example, certain laws are not available to the women. For example, the Muslim personal law is not providing the equal rights to women, their women, okay, as the male are enjoying. That's why women inclusiveness is possible. For example, certain lower cadre of the people, lower caste, they are not have certain rights because of some discrimination, etc., etc. Though the constitution provides certain laws are not available to the lower ladder of the people like SC, STs, and other sections of the people, even women also. That's why inclusiveness. This uniform civil code is very helpful for the inclusiveness. If you have inclusiveness, social inclusiveness is there. Economic inclusiveness is possible. If you have social and economic, political inclusiveness is possible. That's why the third most important point is uniform civil code is essential for to achieve our constitutional objective. Do you know what is the constitutional objective? In a single word, welfare state. Okay, in other words, social, economic, and political justice of India, as described in our preamble of our constitution. Our main objective of Indian constitution is socio-economic and political justice. In other words, it's simply welfare state. Okay, when welfare state is still, it is a mirage in India. So uniform civil code is very important to achieve the constitutional objective of welfare state. Okay, that is what important. So in this way, you have to discuss the essentialness of the necessity of uniform civil code later. Okay, of course, before you have one doubt, of course, it is also very important as far as this question is concerned. In introduction, you have to give certain definition regarding what is uniform civil code. Uniform civil code is a law which is available to all sections of the people, all sections of the people. It is nothing to do with the criminal laws and civil laws. We have a criminal procedure code, civil procedure code, evidence act, etc., etc. Already we have uniform laws as far as the civil law and criminal law is concerned, but this uniform civil code is related to personal laws. Okay, this uniform civil code is only related to the personal laws, not related to civil and criminal procedure codes. Already we have uniform laws regarding the criminal and civil laws. Okay, now this uniform civil code is related to the only personal laws. Okay, as far as India is concerned, now we have various personal laws for the various religion. For example, Parsi personal law, okay, Christian personal law, and Muslim personal law, and also Hindu Succession Act 1956, Hindu Marriage Act 1955. Okay, we have various laws for the various religions. Now this uniform civil code is concerning with the uniform personal laws for the all religions, irrespective of their religion. This is what uniform personal law. This personal law, this uniform civil code is, if we brought up, okay, if you brought out, it will have created uniform laws regarding succession, marriage, adoption, and inheritance. These are the four related to uniform laws related to personal laws. This is what you have to explain in the introduction itself. Next part is, but it is not easy to implement. Why it is not easy to implement this uniform civil code in India? Now the Constitution of India came into effect in 1950, around 70 to 73 years passed out. Okay, but still we yet to implement this uniform civil code as per the Article 44 mandates or asked or demanded the government of India. It is yet to be implemented. Okay, we could not implement this uniform civil code. It is essential, but we could not implement for the last 74 years. Why? Because it is not easy to implement. Before going to discuss this one, we have certain Supreme Court cases like Sarala Mutkal case. Okay, 1995 Sarala Mutkal case. Okay, Pannalal Bansilal versus Union of India 1995, and also John Vallamatan cases versus the Union of India. The Supreme Court of India, okay, rejected to interfere in this act, in this aspect. Okay, many sections of the people, civil societies, and sometimes victims, mostly women, approached the Supreme Court of India under the Article 32, under Article 226, etc., etc. Okay, the Supreme Court of India, though accepted them, did not rejected to interfere in this aspect. The Supreme Court of India is always saying that, okay, of course, certain personal laws are violating our constitutional articles like 13, 14, 15, etc., etc., include sometimes the Article 19 also. But however, we don't want to interfere. We don't want to ask the government of India to frame the uniform or to implement the Article 44. Okay, Supreme Court of India, okay, declined to ask the government of India regarding it. And sometimes the Supreme Court of India rejected to declare or issued mandamus to declare certain violent violation, constitutional violation, violative, okay, laws as a constitution violation of the constitution regarding certain Hindu personal laws, Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act, okay, and also Muslims related to talak, etc., etc. Supreme Court of India didn't intervene these personal laws. Okay, and also it is declined to ask the government of India to implement immediately. So why the Supreme Court of India, though it understood that certain personal laws are the violation of the constitution, it didn't interfere. It didn't intervene in this aspect. Okay, that is what the essentialness, that is what the it's not easy, we can describe. Implementation of uniform civil code is not easy, because the constitution under the directive principles of state policy, article 44 is asking the government, the state shall endeavor to bring about this uniform civil code for the citizens of its territory. Okay, that is what mandate almost from the constitution of India. However, the state, the government of India could not implement it. Why? Okay, in order to implement uniform civil code, okay, there is a need of consensus among all of its sections of the people, all among all citizens. Consensus, unless consensus is there, here consensus, not majority, also consensus, the government cannot implement it. That's why in John Vallamatan case, the Supreme Court of India described it. Even the legislative, if we don't want to intervene in the legislative matter, this is what the legislative matter. Even legislative, that is the Parliament of India also cannot implement it in one go unless it has the consensus. This is what the description from the Supreme Court of India. So we need the consensus to implement the uniform civil code across its territory. But consensus is not easy in India. For example, minorities. Minorities have certain fears. The government of India should allay the fears before asking them to give approval to implement this uniform civil code. It is not easy process in India in the given socio-economic political situation. There is a, and also certain constitutional mechanism, Article 14, 15, and our secular nations related to Article 26, 27, 28. These are also barrier to implement uniform civil code. Okay, the Constitution of India under its this fundamental rights, providing fundamental rights to every citizens, every religion, etc., etc. They have their own rights, but uniform civil code may reduces its independence. But however, uniform civil code is nothing to do with the and cannot violation of this one. But this is also a fear. The government of India should convince the all sections of the people that uniform civil code is not is nothing to do with the fundamental rights. It may not infringe the fundamental right. That is also the government of India should convince the all sections of the people. Okay, by and large, that in order to implement uniform civil code, there is a need of consensus. That's why it is not easy to implement. That's what you have to expose in this one. Next question: explain why India must be worried about the artificial intelligence tech. Okay, given the geopolitical, given the globalized socio-economic and technological conditions, India must prepare itself to reap benefits out of such new AI tech by avoiding or mitigating effects out of it. Discuss. Now there are two question tags are the task words. First one, explain. Explain why India must be worried about the artificial intelligence tech. Explain is nothing but to give reasons with description or with explanation. Now, what the reasons behind India worriedness about the new technology, open AI, chat GPT, etc., etc.? What are the reasons? The main reason you have to point out that relevance answer is important. Okay, you have to point out the reasons. You have to explain them. That is what explain. The first reason, now India is a country of the largest populous nation on the earth surface. We have around 1000 million, 100 crore workforce is there. 100 crore workforce, which is larger than the whole Europe and North American continents. So that's what the demographic dividend. We have a huge demographic dividend. That's what the biggest asset of India, which can transform India from a developing or underdeveloped to developed countries in the coming 2 to 3 decades. Now, this artificial intelligence is mainly because of it, we will lose jobs. That is the main fear. Now we have the demographic dividend, use workforce. Even around 60 crore of the population with the age group of around 16 to 35 years age group. 60 crore population is almost double than the US population. So in this aspect, this artificial intelligence, chat GPT, etc., etc., okay, it creating job loss. So it is not augur well for the country which is enjoying the demographic dividend. So that's why India must be worried. Okay, that's what you have to explain. Another important thing is this. Another important main concern regarding the AI is as expressed by the Elon Musk and his team of the around 100 scientists, that it is artificial intelligence has already surpassed the humankind. And if this artificial intelligence, if it is entered, it fell into the hands of the terrorism, okay, we will lose the game. Okay, for example, the terrorism from the Jammu and Kashmir and Pak region, Taliban, etc., etc. And also, if it is misused by the failed states like Pakistan, we will face certain severe consequences. And another aspect is China. This ambitious belligerent China is already trying to use that. If it used this artificial intelligence technology to produce the killer drones, robo army, etc., etc., India will face severe consequences. Okay, so in this aspect, so these are the main worrying things, especially demographic, social, economical dimension you have to explain. Next thing is, given the globalized socio-economic and technological condition, that is the globalization. So everything is free. There is a fabric of the society. No society can live separately in this globalized situation. That is the globalized socio-economic and technological condition. India must prepare itself to reap benefits out of such new AI tech by avoiding or mitigating effects out of it. Discuss. So in the given these globalized socio-economic and technological condition, no country lives separately. This is not exception to India as well. So India is a highly active globalized nation. India is reaping benefits out of this globalized process since 1991. Now India is emerged as the fastest growing economy on the earth surface now. Okay, with around more than 7% of the GDP growth per annum. So in this aspect, India cannot prevent, cannot stop, okay, this AI. If the whole globe regulated, we can regulate. If whole globe give let free hand to this AI technology, we have to do it. That's why we can't reduce, we can't control it. So India is also wants to become champion of the great successful country in terms of industry 4.0, like semiconductor, this AI, etc., other technologies. So India, instead of the worrying about it, okay, it is better to avoiding these side effects and try to, okay, reap the benefits out of it. Okay, every technology initially it will create certain kind of ripples in its socio-economic conditions. It's no exception to artificial intelligence also. Like what we have seen when introduced the computers in 1980s, there was a fear, the used to be fears like the present fears regarding the AI also similar to the computer introducing period concerns. That's why India, though we have huge loss of jobs, the AI may create certain kind of jobs. So it is better to upskill itself. Okay, We have such a kind of the socio-economic and technological infrastructure in terms of IITs, etc., etc. So in this aspect, to avoid the side effects or at least mitigating effects are very important. At the same time, India, instead of the fearing, we have to try proactively, we have to try to garner the benefits from the AI tech. This is what the importance. In this aspect, we have to discuss. So socially, economically, politically, India is a strong nation. Okay, our social and economically, we are globalized in nature. So we have around 2.5 crore to 3 crore NRIs. We have India outside of India. We have another India outside of India. They are technologically so rich. For example, this bird, this Sundar Pichai, it is this present the champions of AI companies are being headed by Indians itself. So we have huge opportunities to avoid the side effects and to get the benefit. This is what we have to discuss under this question. Next, the Indo-US defense ties are becoming profound. Profound is nothing but deep and pragmatic vis-a-vis Indian needs given the geopolitical situations discussed. 250 words, 15 question. The Indo-US ties are becoming profound and pragmatic vis-a-vis related to Indian needs given the geopolitical situation discussed. What is the geopolitical situation now? The geopolitical situation is in a chaotic conditions. For example, Russia-Ukraine war. Because of this one, the new Cold War started between the Russia, China on the one hand, and Western NATO members on the other hand. Okay, India is maintaining neutrality. This is what one kind of geopolitical situation. Another aspect is the mostly Western countries, Western nations, OECD nations, mostly G7 nations, clout, economical clout, and their political clout has been declining day by day. Whereas the BRIC nations, led by this Eastern Hemisphere, their clout is increasing day by day. This is what the geopolitical, this chaotic transitional period. Okay, because of this transitional period, there is a rippling effect on the geopolitical situation. In such a situation, okay, India is maintaining certain kind of non-alignment, or else, in other words, in the new term, that all alignment policy it is maintaining. It is on the one hand, it is maintaining, it is a member of the BRICS and a member of SCO. On the other hand, it is a member of the Quad as well. So we are maintaining relations with Western nations led by US. We are maintaining relations with the Eastern nations, Russia and China, etc., etc. So because of this one, US is angered in certain conditions regarding the Russia-Ukraine class. We are always insistently, consistently supporting Russia. So yes, though we are supporting Russia, though we are not, we are ignoring the sanctions, US imposed sanctions against Russia. We are importing the cheap oil from the Russia. However, US is ignoring this one and turned a blind eye on it because of India's stature, which is more important to protect the US interest across the globe. That's why it is becoming pragmatic in nature. Okay, pragmatic as far as the US needs is concerned, as far as India's needs is concerned. Okay, in this aspect, Indian PM is going to visit United States of America. Whole world is looking at this visit. Okay, US and India is hectic, is involved in the hectic parleys regarding the agenda related to this discussions, this summit level discussion. Most experts already decided that India is going to import this predator drones like MQ-9B or killer drones with around $3 billion, 30 drones, which can change the game, which has the potential to game changer in the as far as the India and Chinese military balance is concerned. So that is important. Yes, is exporting such a drones. So far, it has hitherto it has exported such a drones to only NATO plus NATO members only, not outside of the NATO members. That is important. So another aspect is US has already decided to give approval to its General Electric company to give cooperatively or coordinatively develop GEF 414 engine, jet engine, to use in order to use in its Tejas Mark II aircraft, and in order to use in AMCA fifth generation aircraft is under being developed by India. So GEF 414 engine and this predator, okay, MQ-9B drones and other sensitive technologies, and also semiconductor cooperation, joint cooperation between United States of America and India. These things indicating or corroborating that the defense ties between India and United States of America becoming so profound, and pragmatic. This is what we have to discuss. So this is because of the geopolitical situation present, okay, right now. For example, China's maneuverability in South China Sea and against Taiwan and against US interest. That's why US needs India. That's why though India maintaining its independent foreign policy, US is indifferent towards it, and India, United States of America is trying to improve defense partnership with India. So if India strengthened defensively in terms of defense, so it will be more beneficial to United States of America to protect its interest across the globe, especially in Indian Ocean, South Asian, and Indo-Pacific region. That's why the geopolitical situation, the geopolitical condition pressurizing United States of America, leaning towards India, though India maintaining independent foreign policy, okay, without sacrificing its foreign policy objective of non-alignment or all alignment, etc., etc. This is what we have to discuss. Okay, thank you very much.